All right, we're back here, Philly's #1 college radio station, WHIP. Zach Gelb here with you for the main event, flying solo today, taking you up until noon Eastern time. Eagles get ready to face the Arizona Cardinals this week. Eagles looking to expand their lead in the NFC East race, and the Arizona Cardinals are red hot at 7-4, coming off a blowout victory up against the Indianapolis Colts. Let's go out west right now and welcome in a dear friend of the program, and that's Arizona Cardinals head coach Bruce Arians. Coach, first off, congratulations and a happy Thanksgiving. How are you?
Oh, happy Thanksgiving, Zach. We're doing great out here in the desert.
Well, we appreciate you coming on. And actually, we had Paul Palmer in the studio a few weeks ago, going back to your Temple days when you were the head man here at Temple University. And during the interview, he was telling me how you were the only Division I coach to ever offer Paul Palmer a scholarship. And we all know what Paul did here at Temple. He was a runner-up in the Heisman where he lost to Vinny Testaverde. So let me take you back to your Temple days. What stood out to you when you were recruiting Paul Palmer?
Oh, great athlete, great young man, had an unbelievable passion for the game. Some people thought he was too small, but he overcame everything and became probably the greatest college player I ever coached.
And Temple's trying to get back to their glory days now. It's been a rough season. They've been 1-10, but they've gone down to the wire with top 25 teams in the nation. They opened it up at Notre Dame. And I know Matt Rhule flew out west to visit you and your program in Arizona. What do you think about Matt Rhule as he's ending his first year as head coach as he faced Memphis on Saturday?
Well, he's obviously doing something great because they're like you said, they're right to the wire. They've had their heart broken a number of times, but they're playing their tails off, playing with great effort, enthusiasm, and the wins are going to come. When you lay that kind of foundation, the wins will come.
Another Temple connection who's on your staff right now is Todd Bowles. He comes over for the Philadelphia Eagles, which you will face this week, and he struggled last year in Philadelphia, and he's been sensational with your club this year, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, he took over a very tough situation last year and trying to run a defense that really wasn't his, and it's hard to change in the middle of a season when the players don't quite adapt to what you really want to do. And I've known Todd for so long, and I just watched him make it through that season with the class and integrity that he has, and couldn't wait to get him here because I knew the type of job he would do with these players.
Head man of the Arizona Cardinals, Bruce Arians, joins us on the hotline, Philly's #1 college radio station, WHIP. And, Coach, last time we talked to you, you were the interim head coach of the Indianapolis Colts, and we all know the great story of last year as that team went to the playoffs and they rallied around Chuck Pagano, the Chuck Strong campaign after he was diagnosed with leukemia. You beat the Colts last week in your own house. How special was that game for you, seeing Chuck back on the sidelines?
No, it's great seeing him on the sideline, and he looks healthy and he's doing great. And like I said, there's a lot of emotion before the ball game, but once the kickoff is like playing your brother in the backyard. You never want to lose to your brother.
Now, since you had a lot of familiarity with that Colts offense, coaching Andrew Luck last year, did you all think you had an advantage going into that game since you knew a lot what was going on in that playbook?
Well, they've changed their playbook totally as far as they've gone to a West Coast offense from what we had last year. It was more knowing the individual players than the schemes they were running. And but Todd did an unbelievable job of getting our players in position to be successful and play great defense in that game.
Let's get to the game this week. This is an Eagles offense that was inconsistent early on in the year after they started red hot up against the Washington Redskins. They make the quarterback switch from Michael Vick to Nick Foles, and Foles has been absolutely spectacular here in Philadelphia. Hasn't thrown an interception yet. When you're looking at the film, what do you see in Nick Foles?
You see a guy who knows what he's doing, and Chip's done a great job. They have an outstanding running game. He's protecting the football, but he's also getting into his playmakers. I mean, he's playing at a very high level, as high as there is in the league right now. When you're throwing touchdowns and not interceptions at the rate he's doing it, you're playing really solid, and it poses a great threat.
And when you have two good teams going up against each other, which what you will have in Sunday, the big key is to try to get a turnover. Foles hasn't thrown an interception all year. What's been the message to the defense this week in trying to make him to force a mistake?
Well, the biggest thing for us is to stop the run. And if you don't stop the run with these guys, they're going to run it down your throat. And the big plays will come off of it. So we've got to stop the run and try to get them in a one-dimensional game. And that's going to be very, very difficult to get done.
Former Temple Owls head coach Bruce Arians joins us on the hotline now, coaching out west in Arizona. Cardinals 7-4 play the Birds this Sunday at Lincoln Financial Field. And Coach, a big matchup in this game is your secondary going up against the emergence of Riley Cooper and Deshaun Jackson, who's always a special player. How do you like Patrick Peterson and the Honey Badger this week going up against those wide receivers?
Yeah, I like our chances there. Anytime we put Patrick Peterson on anybody, I like our chances, and he's got his hands full with Deshaun. T.Y. Hilton was a similar type of guy, and he did a good job last week. But this will be bigger problems. Riley is one of those big physical guys who goes up and got great hands. So whoever's matched up on him is going to have an all-day chore also.
Looking at the rookie and Tyrann Mathieu, a lot of people considered him a risk draft pick. I thought it was a brilliant move by you because he's a good football player, and especially to team him up with Patrick Peterson, they had that LSU connection. What have been your impressions so far on the Honey Badger this early on in his career?
He's been fantastic. He's a joy to coach. I mean, he comes to practice and to work every day with a fabulous attitude. He's been a dream to coach, and Patrick and he are very close, and the rest of our team has taken an extreme liking to him, and they all want to see him succeed.
Moving on to your offense, you bring Carson Palmer in, and he's really rejuvenated his career. You coached a lot of good quarterbacks in your day, Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, and even Andrew Luck last year. Have you been at all surprised with the way that Carson has been playing this year?
No, getting to know him and watching him prepare each week, he's a true professional, and it's going to take some time for the guys around him and for him also to get acclimated to this new system. It's not the easiest one to learn, and we struggled for the first 6 or 7 weeks, and I think we're starting to hit some consistency now on offense to catch up with our defense.
And Billy Davis is the defensive coordinator for the Eagles. After he allowed 52 points up against Peyton Manning in Week 4, that defense has really turned around. Connor Barwin's been a good player for them. What stands out to you when you look at this Eagles defense?
A very disruptive front seven. I mean, they don't stand still. They're moving around. Billy's putting them in great positions to be successful as far as stunning and blitzing and being disruptive. And the back end is playing very, very steady.
Last year, you had Reggie Wayne. He was the big leader on offense. And then when I look at your leaders this year on offense, one of the wide receivers that stands to mind is Larry Fitzgerald. He had over 11,000 yards in his career. He reached that mark last week. To see that moment on the field and what it meant to the Arizona Cardinals community, what did it mean to you?
Oh, it was great for Larry. He's the fastest one to 800 catches, fastest one to 11,000 yards. So, we wanted to make sure we got that and got it out of the way for him. And it was great to have it at home so the fans could acknowledge it.
And you also have to be happy with your running attack, Coach. Those two running backs this year, they looked really good running the ball, and they've been splitting time.
Yeah, Richard is finally healthy. He had some bad injuries and played through them. And the open date, we set him for a week, and it took 2 weeks to try to heal him. And it looks like it's going to pay off for him. And Andre Ellington's a young man from Clemson that has kind of burst onto the scene, and we try to have a little package for him every week.
Final one here on the way out as we're talking to Bruce Arians. Eagles get ready to face his Cardinals this week at Lincoln Financial Field. Let me take you back to Sunday night's game between Brady and Manning. I know you know Peyton Manning very well. You coached him in the early 2000s. Did you get a chance to watch that game? Because that was really one of the best games of the season, if not the best game.
Yeah, I did. I caught the second half, and it was an interesting ball game. To see the momentum swing. It doesn't take much up there at Gillette Stadium to get the momentum to swing. And I knew Tom came out when he got the first touchdown that the Broncos were going to have to answer. But hats off to the Patriots for overcoming that deficit and for Coach Belichick to take in the win.
Coach, it's always great to reconnect with you. We appreciate a few minutes today. Have a great Thanksgiving tomorrow and have a good game on Sunday. We appreciate it, Coach.
You too, man. Happy holidays.